With Beerus having finally met Gohan and Trunks, he believes they could become his rivals. They now have access to Super Saiyan God. But where did they go from here? We'll see all that and more in this fourth part of What If Gohan and Trunks Saved the Future. After achieving Super Saiyan God, the two of them then find a way to boost Ultimate with it. Just as Whis wanted them to do, they simply just apply the power to their Ultimate form, which draws out their potential to begin with, including the latent power of this form too. Simply by doing this, they grow even further, beyond Super Saiyan God even, and they're still just using their Ultimate form. As expected, a form that unlocks potential, it has a lot of potential. Whis is very glad to see this, and so is Beerus, of course. He looks forward to see where they'll truly go in terms of power. This is only the beginning. This is the first time they're stepping into the realm of gods, and they're already making great use of it. In terms of the story though, where do we go next? Without time travel in a present timeline, there's not going to be a Goku Black and Zamasu here because there's no time paradox. Without a mortal splitting the timelines, and without Zamasu meeting Goku, he's not going to care, much less steal Goku's body. Maybe Champa would try to get the Super Dragon Balls leading to a Universe 6 tournament, although he still wouldn't be able to find the last Super Dragon Ball. Especially without Bulma's help, and the fact that Gohan and Trunks probably wouldn't want to help him find it, due to the fact that he wants to change what universe Earth is in. And besides, in this scenario, Beerus might have taken note of Earth food, but remember, he didn't even go to Earth to meet them. He wanted Gohan and Trunks to come along because of their strength. He found them on the Sacred World of Kai and never actually got some Earth food, so Champa wouldn't get to try some here either. He might not even be interested in moving this Earth in the first place. So I could see him visiting Beerus' planet, especially now that he's awake. But a tournament seems kind of unlikely. But one thing that definitely could happen here is the fact that Moro could be unleashed. Not right away, but it's possible. With Buu actually dead and completely destroyed, that creates an interesting circumstance. The seal on Moro is broken too. It's going to take some time for him to regain his power though, so he won't be able to attack right away, nor will he be able to escape right away. But when Beerus destroyed Buu's egg, that also destroyed the seal that was holding back Moro's magic. In the meantime though, not much really does happen. Gohan and Trunks return to Earth from time to time, and they do actually return to the Sacred World of Kais too. Thankfully, they get to visit some of the people in Otherworld, with Goku seeing them occasionally, and bring some people along like Krillin and Piccolo, and any other old friends or new allies that he's found in Otherworld. The most important thing here is the fact that Gohan and Trunks are growing. Now with Godly Ki, each of them individually has surpassed Goku, but they still do have a ways to go. Eventually they'd probably grasp the power of Super Saiyan Blue as well, but then they'd cap out there. And for a while after this, they just remain at Super Saiyan Blue essentially. They feel kind of stuck now. Even after absorbing it into Ultimate, there's not really anything they can improve on it. Because they don't need to spend time improving Super Saiyan Blue. The power of it is drawn out through Ultimate, and it's just made more efficient that way, so it's not like they need a Master Blue or get Blue Evolution or something along those lines. Both are essentially just there to power up their Ultimate forms, at least with how we're treating Ultimate in this scenario. They do consider using the Time Chamber and exploiting Zenkai somehow with Senzu Beans, but there's not really a point. It's peacetime. Yes, they do want to grow stronger, but there's no point in rushing it, especially if they haven't gotten anywhere. Beerus thinks they need some sort of actual challenge. He doesn't know what that may be, and of course they're ready for that type of thing, that's the whole reason they're training. But they have no clue of what to actually do because there's no danger right now, which is a good thing. But Trunks has an idea of his own. What if they try to go to the Supreme Kai and learn some things from him? They don't really know much about magic. They did learn a little bit about it, but never actually used it for themselves. They're stuck growing their power right now, but at least they could definitely grow their skills and techniques there. And who knows, maybe they'll discover something else beyond that too. Gohan thinks that's a good idea, and so do Beerus and Whis. He knows Shin's probably not going to make them any stronger, but it would be interesting to see what they're able to do with magic if they are able to actually unlock it for themselves. So they go there for a bit. And now, we arrive a few years after the Buu saga. One day at Capsule Corp, Bulma has a weird visitor. Actually, two. And one of them she recognizes, immediately yelling at him. It's Jaco and his friend Maris. She's pissed that Jaco didn't show up amidst the android stuff. He could have definitely helped there. She hasn't seen him in years. What the hell has he been up to? Isn't he supposed to keep watch over Earth? Well, Earth is in his sector, but they didn't actually know of anything going on here. At least that's the excuse Jaco has. And besides, he knows if he was involved here, he wouldn't have been able to do anything anyways. Bulma just thinks he's being cowardly, but why is he here after all this time? He hasn't even tried to visit them. He should at least be keeping in touch with his friends. Then Maris steps up and introduces himself. And Bulma's glad that one of the patrolmen is actually acting formal here, because he seems a lot nicer. And seems like he actually cares about his job too. And he explains why he's here. A prisoner from the Galactic Patrol has escaped, and they need help. Buu was never freed, so it's not like they can get help from him, but they do know of two strong warriors on Earth who are affiliated with the Kais somehow. It's a long shot, but really their only option. Maris wants to see if they can get help from Gohan and Trunks. They return to Earth and meet the Galactic Patrol. They're filled in on everything with Moro as well. And they learn that Moro is heading for New Namek. They're confident that they could fight him, but his abilities seem a little bit troublesome. And on top of that, they'll actually be able to find New Namek now. But there is one issue. While they have been training with Shin, they haven't had much time with him so far, and they decided to focus on healing abilities first, as well as things like telekinesis and object creation. One thing they didn't learn right away that they probably should have is the Kai Kai. That would have been great because they could have gotten to Namek before Moro did, but here, they have no way of getting to Namek that quickly. No instant transmission, no Kai Kai, no teleportation at all. They have to fly there manually. And because of that, They get there kind of late. By the time they're there, Moro has already gotten the Dragon Balls, and they see Porunga in the sky. Gohan vividly remembers this from all those years ago. The same dragon he saw as a kid. And this worries him because not only does Moro have the Dragon Balls, but he's using a dragon that can grant 3 wishes. They still know nothing about this guy and have no clue of what he's going to wish for. Definitely not going to be something good, though. They fly over to where he is and eventually meet him. He has no clue of who they are or why they're here, but they immediately go full power and fight him. They know about his ability to steal power, so they're trying to be cautious, but they have no real counter against it. Moro takes all of their power, but he's interested in their strength, so he keeps them alive because he might be able to get another snack from them later, especially with how much power he got from them just now. That was pretty amazing. Another ship arrives and they're swarmed by Galactic Patrol prisoners. They barely have enough power to survive, and they realize they can't fight here. They need to escape. Maris lends a ship nearby to pick them up, but they can't make it in time. The prisoners overwhelm them. But each of them is grabbed by someone, and they end up on Maris' ship, with the 3 of them barely escaping. Moro looks forward to seeing them again. Gohan and Trunks are briefly unconscious, but they wake up, and they see 2 Namekians on the ship. These are the 2 that saved them. They're surprised to see that any of the Namekians are still alive. They both seem happy to see Gohan, and it seems like they know him. One in particular is especially happy, and it takes him a second to realize, but Gohan smiles. He recognizes who it is. It's Dende and his brother Cargo, but their happiness quickly fades. Gohan thanks these 2 for saving them, and Trunks is kind of lost, but Gohan says they're friends from a while ago, and Gohan introduces them to Trunks. He hears that most of the Namekians, if not all of them, are dead. Dende and Cargo might be the only ones left behind. Dende also healed both of them up. As for Cargo, I know he should technically be a Dragon Clan member, but the one other time I used him in a video, I made him a warrior Namekian. So I'm going to do that here, just so he's not Dende 2.0. He did want to fuse with the other Namekians to help fight against Moro, but he couldn't get there in time because by the time he was there, Moro killed everybody, thanks to not having anyone get in the way of his plans. Well, now they have a taste of what Moro's power is like, and they have to figure out some way to work around it. Thankfully, at least 2 of the Namekians survived, and on top of that, they know where New Namek is now, but it feels like far too much time has passed to revive anybody, so it's not right to do anymore. After a few decades, it's kind of weird to bring them back, especially because they're comfortable in Otherworld now. But at least they know the location of Dragon Balls if they ever need them again. Which surprises Dende to hear too. What do they mean? Don't they have Dragon Balls on Earth too? Dende and Cargo hear about everything that's happened on Earth, and they learn that Piccolo died. This makes Dende especially sad having known Piccolo, plus the fact that Nail was fused into him too. And they knew of Kami too, and he's gone. Not to mention Goku, that other person who helped save their planet. He's gone. Same for Krillin. Well, Gohan says at least they're alright in Otherworld. As for Vegeta, they're not too sure. This surprises Trunks. Wait, Vegeta was on Namek with them? They never told him this. And yeah, Gohan kind of brushes it off, saying it's not really important. But really, he doesn't want to tell Trunks that Vegeta was genociding people on Namek. The less he knows, the better. That's besides the point, though. After they catch up, now they need to have some sort of plan. Gohan thinks it would be a good idea to learn more from Shin. But now with Moro on the loose, they don't have much time. Thankfully, they have the perfect thing for that, though. Finally, they have a reason to use the Time Chamber. They ask Maris to take them back to Earth. Dende and Cargo are welcome to come along, too. They're able to get in contact with Shin, and he comes to Earth, too. He thinks their plan is pretty sound, and obviously he's going to want to help out here. This might be the best way to fight Moro because they're fighting fire with fire. Of course, they're not going to learn the exact same thing that Moro does. Rather, they just want to counter what he does. And they ask Shin if it's possible. He thinks that it should be, especially because he's grown proficient in magic, too. Ever since the Buu Saga incident, even Shin realized he needed to grow stronger. He felt insufficient as a Kai. And he's grown a lot himself, trying to learn more magic, especially trying to emulate things that the Grand Supreme Guy did. They only really know the basics now. What they need to learn next is how to actually reverse Moro's magic and try and use more magic abilities for themselves. Instead of just specific abilities, they're going to be able to use the magic power system as a whole. Maris, of course, is interested to see what they'll do next, too. They still don't recognize his true identity, but he's sure that Whis is going to love to hear this. So, Gohan, Trunks, and Shin go into the Time Chamber. They don't need raw power here. That's actually kind of a double-edged sword because, yeah, more power is great, but Moro's going to be able to absorb that. When they go into the Time Chamber, they're going to mostly focus on magic. But right before they enter, someone then yells out to Gohan and Trunks and tells them to wait. Gohan immediately recognizes the voice, and it's Piccolo. Concerned about the situation, he's been watching over. Goku has too, and he even butts in. They heard what's happening on Earth, and they want to see how it goes. But Piccolo warns them, they can only use the Time Chamber for 2 years. Because remember, this is still Kami's Time Chamber, so if they stay in any longer than 2 years, they'll be trapped in there. Piccolo doesn't want them to get trapped and betrayed. Betrayed by who? He tells them to forget it. Just be careful in there. Gohan thanks them for the help, and he says he and Trunks have this in the bag. They should be able to make it out okay here. A few days pass and some prisoners eventually show up on Earth, easily defeated by Gohan and Trunks. They seem far different from before. It's only been a few days. How did they grow so strong? They used all of their 2 years in there. They did grow a bit physically, but mainly they grew in magic. They steal a communication device from the prisoners and get in contact with Moro. They're waiting to fight him again. He tells them he'll be there in 2 months, but they say that's not going to cut it. They're fighting him now. Gohan then tries to focus, and he gets a read on Moro's energy once more. Right now he's on another planet, and hopefully it has some sort of atmosphere there because Gohan plans on teleporting there. The only reason they didn't immediately go to find him is because they wanted to make sure no one came to Earth first. And now that they dealt with the prisoners that did come to Earth, they know they could leave for a bit. They kai to where Moro is, immediately powering up to their maximum, defeating all the prisoners around him. They don't waste any time. They go for the kill right away. The earlier encounter with Moro means that he hasn't had much to snack on, so he hasn't grown much. He's basically the same strength as he was on Namek. Gohan and Trunks, though, they've had 2 years of training. And physically they didn't grow a ton, but Moro immediately notices they're fighting differently. Some of the stronger prisoners try and fight them, but Gohan and Trunks easily defeat them. 7-3 then tries to attack Gohan, but the second he does, Trunks is quickly able to cut him to pieces with his sword. Another android? Yeah, Trunks is going to kill him right away, destroying every little bit of 7-3. They then go right for Moro, and immediately he tries to take their power. They're not even trying to have a fight here, they're just trying to kill him instantly. He does have to admit he didn't expect them to teleport here and ambush them, but still, there's no way a few days could have made that much difference. And it definitely did, because as Moro tries to steal their magic, he realizes he can't. They've made a barrier around themselves, making them immune to the magic too. For the first time in millions of years, Moro seems nervous. He summons all the power he has, but he can't really counter them. They overpower him. He does have another option though. He tries to take power from all the prisoners that are still around. It doesn't matter if he kills them either. He drains all of their energy. It's not much, but it's enough to make a difference, giving him the upper hand once more. Moro says it's too bad. They should have made sure to finish off all the prisoners. They simply knocked a lot of them out. Thankfully, they made for some good snacks. This guy's heartless, but they're not surprised. Trunks then holds 2 hands out. He wishes they could have learned some sort of sealing spell, but that's one thing that Shin wasn't very proficient with. He knows the Grand Supreme Kai used that before. That would have been the perfect thing to use here. But it doesn't matter though. They have a way around this. Moro gets a bit scared at first thinking Trunks is about to use that on him, but he just paralyzes Moro with magic. Holding him in place as Gohan charges his own attack. Coalescing all of his power together, he launches a Masenko right at Moro's head. Moro tries to open his mouth and absorb it. They don't think this will kill him, but hopefully it does some damage. Although, there's 2 things working against Moro here. For one, it's imbued with magic and he can't absorb it. Just as he can't take power from them, he can't take power from their blast either right now. They didn't do this earlier in the battle, so he doesn't even know they can. But the other thing working against him is something that Gohan didn't even realize. For a brief second, Trunks notices Gohan powers up further. His eyes even briefly flash red. His overall ki definitely shoots up, but whatever power he's tapping into right now, it doesn't seem to be anything godly. Gohan doesn't even realize it, and his blast significantly gets powered up. And of course, with Moro trying to eat it, it hits him directly in the head. At the very last microsecond, he realizes he can't eat it, and his head is then taken clean off by the blast, with it then expanding and destroying the rest of Moro too. And just like that, it seems like they defeated Moro, but they're confused because they didn't think that would actually work. Gohan doesn't know where that burst of power came from, and he looks at Trunks, and Trunks has no idea of what that was either. Weird. Well, they return home. The issue is, how are they supposed to revive everyone and reverse the damage Moro did? Well, Dende has one way. Given the fact that he's a Dragon Clan warrior, he can make his own set of Dragon Balls. Right now they're actually on the lookout, and Popo even decides to help. He has a statue of Shenron from Kami that he made a while ago, giving it to Dende saying he could probably use this for it, and that's really gonna help. So, Dende uses this and makes his own Shenron, using it to bring back new Namek and revive all the Namekians too. As for the third wish, they restore the Galactic Control prison, at the request of Jaco. The prison was completely destroyed, and now there's not really any prisoners because Moro killed them all. Kinda dark that he did that. And since it's Shenron that he made, Dende decides that they can keep Shenron here. As a gift from him, and a gift for saving them once again, he's given them another dragon. Gohan and Trunks kai the 2 to Namek, hoping to see them again. The Namekians celebrate seeing them there and are glad to see Gohan again, thanking him once more for helping. But before they leave, Dende decides something. Well, they don't have a guardian on Earth, and Dende did make the Dragon Balls that they had. He offers to be Earth's new guardian. Of course, they're not going to turn this down. Gohan would love to have him on Earth, and the lookout's vacant. Popo definitely seemed to like Dende and Cargo, so he'd love to have Dende there as well. So, Gohan, Trunks, and Dende say goodbye to the rest of the Namekians, teleporting back to Earth, now with a new guardian. And with that, we leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? And what's going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel a lot and shows me you want to see more like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.